What is up, lads and lasses? Today I'm gonna be talking about why DygoKnight is wrong about his opinion on the show called Boruto. Now, I want to preface by saying he is one of my favorite Naruto content creators. I am always ecstatic when one of his breakdowns, analytics, video essays, come out, and his rewrites are absolutely fantastic. However, I think that him and a huge portion of the overarching Naruto fan base suffers from just really bad nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses. Okay, and I did too for a while, partly because of DygoKnight's opinion and his influence. I did not give Boruto a chance. I was on the hate train. I was ecstatic. I loved seeing videos that just expressed absolutely unnecessary hate on Boruto, right? I was like, man, I hated the show so much. I never even watched it. I never even read the manga. I don't really read manga anyways, but I never gave it a chance. But just because of the influence of the fandom and the popular YouTubers that come with that and the influencers, I was just automatically thinking it was absolute dog water. I thought it was a disrespect to the original IP. And from a few of the clips that I saw out of context, yeah, I mean, that was the case. However, I decided to give it a shot. I was really bored. I needed to scratch that Naruto itch. And I decided, yeah, I'll give Boruto a watch. And I watched it. And to my surprise, it was actually not bad. I started with the Chunin exams arc. It's the first arc of the show. And I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought it perfectly respected the original show and encapsulated the lovely Naruto verse that we all come to love. Hold on, I'm getting cooked, bro. I'm getting cooked by this jobless, unemployed player. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. I thought I didn't feel a single difference between the show Naruto and Shippuden and what I was watching now. It just felt like a new generation of that. The next part of the sequence of time in that show. And it was great. I felt like all the characters were just fine. I felt like Naruto and Sasuke were presented perfectly good. One of the major gripes that people have with the show is that the original characters, like Naruto and Sasuke, seem like deadbeat dads or whatever. But like, if you think about it logically, how else could they have been? How else could they have turned out? How else could Sasuke, this guy who went through an extremely traumatizing experience, made terrible mistakes in his life, he's gonna be spending his whole life trying to repent for the evil that he committed, not just to the Leaf Village, but to so many others. So much pain he inflicted to them, so much issues, so much problems, right? And Naruto himself, I mean, he became the Hokage. Being a leader of an entire village is a tough job. And trying to navigate that and fatherhood from a person who didn't have a father figure to begin with? Come on, guys. How else could it have turned out? I do agree that there are some things that I wish were different, but these same gripes are the gripes that we had with the original show, Shippuden, which is, the side characters don't get a lot of love. They're absolutely disrespected. I mean, Yamato, who's supposed to be one of the most powerful characters in the entire show, who literally has Hashirama cells and is one of the only people that has wood style. The guy should be OP, and yet he's out here babysitting Orochimaru. Yeah, that's terrible. Then never mind Rock Lee, never mind all the other characters of the show. But like, these are gripes that we've already had with the original show. Boruto, the show, should not be getting a hate for it. Anyways, I would like to continue. Hot Boy Spicy, one of the best video essay creators of all time, not just, Naruto and anime. He can encapsulate my feelings perfectly on this first arc that introduces Boruto. Now, unfortunately, the haters who won't give it a chance, they watch like Boruto being a spoiled brat in the first arc, and they just automatically like from that they base their entire opinion on him, which is absolutely stupid, because it's not like Naruto was a lot better when he was a kid. you know, and they're all like, everyone hates him for being a spoiled brat towards his father because everyone literally grew up watching the show, so of course you're gonna have bias. But if the show Naruto didn't exist, we wouldn't have the same problem. You know what I'm saying? You have to treat it like it's its own thing in a way, but at the same time a continuation of the original thing we loved. Nothing stays the same in life. Things change. You know what I mean? And it's not like, just like Sasuke said, just like one of the biggest themes of that first arc, things change yet they remain the same, right? On the outside, you see the world has expanded, increased, modernized, but on the inside, the soul, the way of a shinobi is always gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I want to continue and really highlight and emphasize that the rest of the show is fantastic. One of the biggest problems with Naruto and Shippuden was the absolutely disgusting and vast amount of filler that was in the show. Absolutely terrible, right? The show Boruto fixes that. It basically, you know, anime canon? The anime canon acts as a supplement to the main story and in many ways improves the main story. From what I've seen from the discrepancies between the manga and the manga goes so fast, it leaves so many plot holes and no room for character growth. The anime canon does that, right? Every single anime canon arc, I will say, I swear to you, so much better than any filler arc, number one, and better than some actual canon arcs of Naruto and Shippuden. And I'll tell you which ones. Um, one of the first major, I think, anime canon arcs was the Mitsuki arc, right? This arc explored so many themes at so many levels and built the world like no other arc I've ever seen before it, right? Mitsuki goes to the hidden stone village trying to seek his identity and the reason for his existence, and comes across other people like him. They call them the imitations. Yeah, imitations, right? Imitations who are just like him. They're these created souls, these created creatures who don't really have a soul, right? You can't say Mitsuki has a soul, and these guys are just worse versions of him, right? Versions that are unsustainable. Like Mitsuki has the power of the Hashirama cell behind him, and Orochimaru, one of the greatest researchers in that verse, who worked on him, right? So no one's really gonna beat that. These characters, you know, like Mitsuki, while his identity is like not so clear and it's not clear who or what he is, at the very least he's able to sustain himself. At the very least he's able to just kind of live indefinitely, like a regular human. These guys, they can't, you know? And it was super interesting and just heartfelt to explore the difference between, you know, Mitsuki and them and the similarities and exploring their identities, and Mitsuki kind of like betraying the village, you know, especially because there was already this kind of stigma against him being the son of Orochimaru, especially by Konohamaru, right? The guy who Orochimaru killed his grandpa. But yeah, no, and then the whole Stone Village thing with Onoki, you know, some people like think that was out of character for Onoki, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Onoki is a man who went through like so many different like ninja wars and issues and problems throughout like the history of that verse, and has seen so much turmoil, right? It's not easy, you know. Yeah, just because the Great Ninja War 4 happened and people are living in peace and whatnot, you know, this guy has seen so much and has so much experience. You're not gonna convince him that peace is gonna last forever, because that's kind of the truth of this verse, right? The peace that they have is not sustainable. There's this video of this guy who made like a whole video on how the economics of that entire world depends on conflict, right? And at some point, you know, there's gonna be like a more conflict, and all Onuki was trying to do was take the advantage of this peaceful time to try to establish a security that can ensure, and establish beings that can ensure that children never have to fight in war. Is that so bad? Like, what an interesting concept, right? And so much growth for all these characters that we've seen. So there was that, and then also Boruto also gets a much needed character growth and development that I don't think he gets in the, you know, manga canon only episodes. Of course this guy wants to use the ultimate on one person. Like, what? Alright, bet. All right, we can go ultimate for ultimate. Hey, what's up, buddy? Boom! You're dead. So yeah, I mean that's one arc, right? I'll skip over a few arcs. There are a lot of them that are really good. But the most recent one that I watched was number one, the Byakuga gang one, where Boruto. The first part of it is like he first meets this gang. The second part of it is he goes to prison, and like the third part of it is he fights this like man-eating ninja, and he like finally starts to discover karma for the first time. I mean, dude, that was one of the biggest character growth arcs for Boruto because this is the first mission where him and his team, Team 7, deal with the atrocities and the hardships and the tribulations of being a ninja. They deal with death, they deal with unfairness of the world, they deal with so much, and it's so dark too. I mean, like at the very beginning of that arc, like some old butler, got eaten alive, and also like a prisoner that they kind of had some heartfelt connections with, got eaten alive, and Boruto meets what's his name, Mujino, man. That guy, if I only watched the manga canon episodes, I would have not known. The guy would have been just like a fodder, right? But those anime canon arcs really made you love this character. Made you fall in love with him, and what on earth is happening to him? Made you fall in love with him and really like establish a connection with him that made his death 10 times. It hit really hard. Like I did not expect him to die. And when he died, I was like in disbelief. I was like, nah, there's no way. They're gonna cop out, right? There's no way. And his whole backstory of being a child assassin and being so grateful to the Leaf and to Hiruzen that he never wanted a dime from anybody, it just really made his character that much more heartfelt. So, and these are just small examples of what I'm talking to you guys about right now. I mean, I really recommend you all just give the show a chance, right? Get through like the first few, the first 20 or whatever episodes, and just kind of whack, there's a lot of like slice of life segments of the show, like in the very beginning, and throughout the first few arcs sprinkled within, yeah, there's a bunch of slice of life, which is nice. Like for me, it kind of felt like it was a bit of a comfort show, at the start of it. But then like a quarter of the way in, everything changes. And also, throughout the anime canon arcs, they did an amazing job of slowly and subtly building up the kata organization, right? Throughout, like Deepa, right? I don't think Deepa is like a manga canon villain, right? But Deepa, dude, I really thought like one of the main characters, like while I was watching the show, in my suspension of disbelief, I thought they were gonna get killed, man. This guy was a freaking demon, dude. Was an absolute monster to deal with for our characters, and also it really gave our characters a chance to get their butts whooped, get absolutely decimated, and then train and come back and have an actual like believable comeback, right? A believable growth moment when they, with them beating Deepa felt justified. It wasn't like one of those, oh yeah, they're the main characters, they're gonna win. No, it was justified, right? And that's just a small example. That's just a small example of Boruto being an amazing. And by the way, I was just talking story this whole time. Animation-wise, production-wise, fight choreography, absolutely unmatched on every level. It does everything Naruto and Shippuden ever did, and does it at a much better rate. I would say the only thing that it's kind of lacking on just a little bit is like, the finer details. The finer details of a show that you can explore while it's still kind of like relatively small, and also like the exploring, like building and exploring like a lot of the other characters, like the side characters, for example. Like I remember there were like a lot of filler arcs for some of the side characters in Naruto that were exceptionally good, like the Kakashi Anbu Black Ops arc. That was phenomenal. But like they were able to explore some things. Like there are some things about Boruto that are just absolutely, uh, I don't know, unforgivable. Like Konohamaru being such a fodder bot when he should be the Kakashi of the show. or the Konoha 11, like the new version of the Konoha 11, are not really that interesting, right? When they should be a lot more interesting. Back then in Naruto, the Konoha 11, each character could have their own like arc. Like Neji, for example. Neji could have carried the show by himself. God damn it, Rock Lee could have replaced Naruto at any given moment, right? Shino, underrated, unexplored character, right? That was just a beast. So there was a lot of instances of that. Whereas the new one doesn't really matter. Some of these characters kind of seem forcibly underrated to kind of more exaggerate how great Boruto is, which I feel like that approach is not that right. The greatness of a warrior lies in the strength of his enemy, or without it being an enemy, like their rival. So I kind of feel like I wish they did a little bit better on that. I wish they spent some anime canon episodes to build up these guys. But no, guys, overall, Boruto is a absolutely fantastic anime that in some ways does a lot better than Naruto. And everyone hating on it because they're wearing belts, is just absolutely unjustified and doesn't make any sense. Everything that made me fall in love with the show that is Naruto is present in Boruto, and it is built upon, and there are new added elements that just make it even greater. So yeah, guys, give it a chance, give it a shot, get through some of the slice of life segments, watch the anime canon. Don't go into it thinking it's filler, because none of it is filler. They're not inconsequential. They all build up and add to the story. And yeah, come back and let me know. I mean, seriously, guys, it's really damn good. Alright, I'm off my soapbox. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for listening. I cannot wait to see the comments and the rage bait that is going to result of this. And yeah, peace out, y'all.